Hello everybody and welcome to the final hour of the first session, hopefully with no more issues along the way. You guys had just spent a long while traveling, well, meeting each other, I should say, getting acquainted at the end of each other's weapons, deciding to travel with amongst one another. Thus far, I think everybody's earned about almost a gold piece a day is what you paid them so far, or at least at the end of this day, that's what it would have equated to. And then you will, starting up this morning, having shared with one another, kind of like just over breakfast, which is of course cold, sharing with one another the details of what you had all understood to happen the night beforehand. So feel free to roleplay or skip past the roleplaying of the details and into your plan of action from here.
I don't think it would have need to be roleplay. It would have just matter-of-factly, once anyone looked remotely like, okay, I'm awake, you'd walk over and say, okay, so this happened, and show the notes.
Yeah, I would want to go over to where Rayron heard the direction he heard the animal being killed.
Observing the kill might tell us something, yeah.
Yeah, and check out and see if I can see any tracks and if I know what they are or something like that.
Okay, so you guys would just want to go about where that was, where you had heard that squeal in the middle of the night and try to head to that direction? Because you're not going to the area where you had almost seen the people's, assuming it's people and not animals, could be animals as well, retiring to. You want to go and see where it was that the killer took place.
That would be where I'd want to go first.
Okay, so it's going to be a little bit difficult because you'd only, again, echolocating is not something that any of you are particularly good at, but you can still look for like blood stains and so on and so forth. So from here, from the region that you're in, again, you're overlooking a huge valley. It's very far away. We're talking like, it's such a high DC, I'd be surprised if somebody could actually hit it. Why don't the person with the best perception check roll, and I'll give you a +3 from everybody assisting you, from like a whole party assistance.
I only have
if you want to legit spend like a couple hours of the morning searching before you go, and this isn't like a quick link, I'll allow you to take a 20, but it's gonna be like a solid 2-hour search that you're forfeiting of this day.
I have a 7.
Yeah, I think you're doing it.
One's the one with the best, yeah.
Do you want to
Yep.
do you want to roll with their +3, or do you want to take their +3 and the 20 and just say we're just gonna spend 2 hours, let's approach this measure twice, cut once?
Yeah, if it's going to be 2 hours, I think that'd be probably the best way, because it's early morning now anyway. So.
Correct. The sun has been up for only a couple of hours, sort of a thing.
Yeah.
So you all kind of like rose as, and we'll say it's like about an hour. Starting this 2-hour bit is about, so it's probably like maybe 10 a.m. now, finishing with 2 hours. So you have a +7. They give you a +3. I said I don't think you're going to be able to hit this DC. The DC was 30. You just barely hit it. That is crazy. So lo and behold, you did succeed. Kudos to you.
Glad we took the 20.
Looking about and doing that, I mean, you want to roll to see if you... No. So don't show your hand when you win poker. So when you guys spend your time searching, finally, it's kind of like as you guys are looking to give up, it's literally Jaden's just kind of like, I don't know why we're wasting our time. We're not going to be able to find anything from over here. And she kind of like goes over, and she's saying this to Ray, she's like, I'm going to say it to him. We're not going to find anything. And she goes over to like literally approach one to say that. And everybody has it in the back of their minds. Whether or not they show it on their sleeve or face is different. And literally as she goes over, she's like, hey, what? And like as she's saying one, you can literally see it. A splotch down. The sun is just barely hitting it right. That you can see almost like a crimson glimmer. It's a good distance from you, like a really good distance. And it takes you a second, like you kind of like rub your eyes, like hold your hand up to silencer or whatever, just like, hold on, give me a second. And you like rub your eyes, it takes you like another minute or so to retrack that spot, her getting a little impatient. But you see it. The way that the tuft of the ground is disturbed over there, a little mark of crimson way, you swear you see exactly where it is. It's probably going to take you about an hour to get down to it, even though it's only about a mile, a little over away, but because of the terrain that you're on. But you're pretty sure you know exactly where it is. You say anything or move out?
Just kind of point towards it and start walking.
There you go. Everybody else's packs had already been long since settled up as you guys were doing that wall searching and whatnot over the course of that time. And everybody starts making that direction. I'm sure there's a small amount of chatter between you guys or whatever, but eventually you do make your way over down and across the trek. About an hour's travel, bringing you almost to noontime. And when you get there, lo and behold, you were not wrong. Your efforts were not in vain. You did in fact find the region where this animal was killed. Looking at the area, there are a considerable number of tracks here, and there's of course a bit of viscera as that animal was like ripped open and eaten on the spot. Now you can actually fully make out what it was. It was in fact a deer, but no small one. It was actually a full-size stag, like pretty massive in its height and whatnot. Being springtime, its antlers aren't fully in bloom yet. They're just starting to grow back, but it is a beautiful, would have been a majestic creature at one point, but even its eyeballs were like plucked out of its face, and the whole thing was like picked kind of clean. Like I said, there's a lot of tracks around, so it's gonna be a bit to figure out what it was.
I almost had hoped they were human, but this would say otherwise. Well,
So we
people,
have the
not human.
we had the stag there, correct?
What's left of it, yeah.
So it's clearly been devoured physically.
Mm-hmm.
But presumably there are still parts of its outer shell, its skin, that display claw marks, bite marks, venom,
Bone,
if
maybe.
appropriate, whatever. Basically, how did it die?
Unfortunately, a heal check is not going to help you in a scenario like this, just because the sheer degree of viscera that was here doesn't leave much for you guys to discern from, without any of you having a background and understanding that stuff for me to even give you a chance. No baseline education. So what you can do is roll me knowledge nature checks. You may all splat roll, or whoever's the best, just kind of take the +2. While other people do other things, like one person can search for tracks, while one person's checking out the, blah, blah, blah.
Do we splat roll, or is someone real good at it?
I don't know who's real good at it. I'm gonna roll.
For knowledge nature?
Yeah, no, splat roll.
Okay. And we'll have the other one do a survival check to look for tracks.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And then so Tesh, you don't have to worry about rolling. We're just gonna have one do it.
Okay.
Perfect. So Tesh, you're giving a +2 to one of them, and Jaden's giving a +2 to the other one. So this is what happens. Rayrin looking at the body, trying to figure out the details, as you said, from the viscera that was there. You do in fact find out there are tooth marks, ripping, clawing, all that stuff that has happened here. Clearly, you can tell that that's what took place here. It doesn't seem to be any weapons that were used in this type of combat, at least not from a check of that roll. You know what I mean? Maybe if you had rolled higher, but you find it very unlikely that any weapons were used here. And if they were, probably perfectly masked by just all of this. Looking about, you do see the tracks in the area are not human at all. They're paw prints, but certainly not small paw prints either. They're rather large in size, maybe really big wolves.
We didn't hear any howling, so not wolves.
Yeah, maybe something, but definitely paw prints that are here. And that's unfortunately all you can kind of get from what you guys have been able to discover so far.
Oh dear.
Well, we're clearly dealing with some sort of large predator that perhaps hunts in a pack. However, we didn't hear any howling, so I would suspect it's not a form of wolf. Any of you heard of mountain lions hunting in packs?
No, they're only usually in pairs or alone. Sorry, throwback to my one. It's like one of the random bits of knowledge I got on a nature roll.
It's funny, and as you say that too, you don't necessarily have to say it out loud, but Jake, he says that, and you kind of like look down at one of the tracks that you're standing there, and it looks more canine than it does feline.
I'd point that out.
Well, they're at least smart enough to try and stay hidden when they were returning to the castle, so that is an issue.
So that's where they return to.
I believe so.
Wow.
I defer to people with more expertise in combat.
I guess we've found out what we can through observation. The next step is whether we wish to take the risk.
Just look around.
Yeah.
There's four of us.
Indeed.
It's hard.
They may,
Please go.
they may outnumber us, but were we to lay a trap, an ambush, providing they do leave, we may be able to take a couple out fairly swiftly.
That's probably a good idea.
We probably won't really want to fight them at night, though.
No, I imagine not. That's the other issue.
That's very true.
Could we maybe set a trap for when they're returning? When it's a little bit lighter?
It's a good plan. The difficult part would be staying hidden as they leave.
Yes. No, that's only one person. I imagine we've got the potion of hide from animals, but we don't know if... I mean, are there creatures that are more... how do I say this? Person-like that would fit these descriptions, or do we think that these are definitely just animals?
I would suggest
thinking that they're canine, they might be able to smell us before we see them.
That is a good point. I didn't.
What kind of trap you looking to set? I mean, and she gestures at the Jaden gestures at the viscera before you. It doesn't exactly look like they need to come back here again.
That's a good point. Look to her. Do you have a plan? An idea?
Well, there is always what we've been able to do, fighting off the damn Perrin. She says, kind of averting her eyes a bit. Anytime they start to surge up in numbers, attacking out our wall, thinking that maybe they've swelled up enough that they can break through, we have left, not us, gesturing to her and Rayrin, but commanders. They've left breadcrumbs or trail of sorts to guide them into where it is that we want the combat to take place. And we've suffered losses, but the mages have always done their job and have made sure that we've won those battles. Make them howling, running off into the dark and licking their wounds and keeping them at bay for some time, and Amalta safe once again. Perhaps we treat these dogs like the Perrin that we've dealt with on the wall for so long. We guide them to where it is that we want them to go.
I would actually bring out my pack and pull out the bits of the mountain lion meat that was cooked up real nice before. She could use this as bait. She
sees that and thinks to herself and says, maybe they like it squirming, and then looks down at the dead thing, and then shrugs, maybe not.
I mean, they hunt at night, so maybe they're sleeping during the day. If we find where they are, maybe we can catch them while they're asleep.
That's a good point as well.
I honestly feel that would be our best plan, because should we decide to escape and run, we will be able to run into the daylight. If we made any attempt at a flight at night, I have no doubt that a canine creature would be able to catch and kill us.
She thinks for a second, like also trying to just chime in, and she's like, yeah, sure, but if that's how this thing is when it's, awake and happy, imagine pissing it off while it's half asleep. Or devastated. And then just once again shrugs. She's gonna go along with whatever. As you know, just takes everything as face value.
We'll look to one. Do you have an opinion on either of the plans?
They both have their risk, but can't really give a proper answer without really knowing what we're dealing with.
Then shall I?
I mean, while we have the daylight, maybe we can get a little bit closer. I mean, if you wanted to set a trap, I could try and hunt some wildlife in the area and
Whoa.
bleed it out.
Oh, hold on. Where did you say they went? Turning to Val.
Back into the castle.
No, remember they didn't. Castle was west. They went northwest.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
not
bad.
around, not quite. Yeah.
That's I completely misunderstood.
Yeah.
My bad. Then I will point the direction. They went back off that way.
Well, if our goal is
maybe we
this
should go
place,
there.
Yeah, then I completely misunderstood. My apologies.
it's fine.
Then I would suggest we go in there, and that's more defensible.
Agreed.
I mean, this could just be something that's between here and there. It doesn't necessarily have to be something we have to interact with. Just saying, pick fights that you know you can win. And then she turns to Val and says, "But remember that time they came round our back? We weren't ready for him." And shrugs again.
Do you
I
mean
assume
Val?
Val. You mean?
She said, "I meant Rayron." What did I say?
Yeah, he said that.
Sorry, I looked at Neil and it just kind of came to mind.
Yeah.
Naughty.
For a
I have made a
fucking
bad
moron.
choice having Valorant as the name.
Could have been
Okay,
Could have been Valorant.
That's oh my god.
Oh, no. Fun fact, I did actually have a drown Yabaskir called Veldrin.
Yeah, but nobody cares about
Fair
him.
enough.
Yeah, that's because he was in a streamed game, dude.
Nobody cares about him.
I do.
But you're not a person. You're British. Sorry.
Okay, shall we go investigate this this castle and hopefully?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So at least it wasn't Talrin. Oh God. Silencio. So you guys are more or less just completely turn on your head, and instead of going towards this thing or even investigating further or luring it, you just want to say fuck all and head towards the castle instead.
Yeah.
Okay. So you make that trek towards the castle as we had discovered beforehand. As everybody's trekking your way there, and you don't need to make any checks, by the way, for survival. Could everybody roll for me a perception check?
Ooh.
Nice.
No. Oh, all three are there. So as you guys are walking along, one of the things that you notice, and this is Val, specifically, so we'll get to the other two in a second. As you guys are walking towards the across the valley and towards the castle up on the ridge, occasionally you all look around, look up, so on and so forth. But you believe you see movement happening up on that ridge about. Not just the fact that there are birds that perch there and leave and
Not
so on
again.
and so forth as well. You also believe you see movement up there as well, between the parapets that look down into the valley there. Nothing where you can make out detail, and certainly not tons. It's like maybe it's just one figure that comes and goes. Maybe it's not even a figure. Maybe you're just mistaken. Whatever it might be, you believe you see movement up there as well. As for the other two, you're more interested in looking about the other areas as well. Looking for either side, taking in the sights. You do see that there are bits of like busted up wagon over here. There are bits of like an old, clearly at some point in time there was an old maybe farmhouse that was here long ago that was destroyed. Not anywhere near as old as maybe this castle is, but probably less than a century old this house is, and was destroyed. And it doesn't look like the house was actively broken down. It looks like somebody had built a home here, was living here for a while, and then has not kept to this house, and so the roof is collapsed in, etc., just due to weathering and non-care. And just kind of like things like that shows that people have tried to live here before and just failed. And unless you chose to approach any of those things, we're going to get you up into the mountainous region itself. So, or at least to the base of the where the tower is. As you guys are making your way there, the other thing that you notice is actually at the base. So when you actually, if you were to walk straight up instead of starting to go around and up to where the keep is set into the side of the rocks, you notice that the very bottom of the keep itself is about 350, 400 feet overhead from where the actual valley floor is. But at that baseline valley floor, there is in fact a little cut-in that's down there that maybe a less casual, more casual observer would have overlooked, but all three of you did notice it. There's a little bit of a cut in there with a door set into place. Do you choose to approach that way? Go up around the side?
This seems convenient.
Well, they must have had some way to access it. It wouldn't exactly be useful if they had to climb all that way.
True, it just seems strangely undefended.
Well, presumably it's ruined and abandoned.
He's gonna look back up, just like, let's hope so.
You guys approach the door then? And as you do so, you can see that the door itself is very, very large door. I mean, not very large in like size, large in the fact that it is, it could comfortably, so I want to say in height, it's about 7.5 feet tall, and width about 4 and change feet wide. So it's definitely like a large door in that sense, but it's also made out of iron, just like very heavy iron with bands across it and studs put into it as well. So the thing was designed very, very, very strong. There's almost like a window slot in the door where there's like little bars, actually kind of, where there's little bars on the outside, but still a bit of metal behind it as well. So almost imagine it's like a swinging door for somebody to see out, but would still have bars to protect so no arms could easily reach in from here. Walking up to the door and just an immediate investigation of it without even making any rolls, you can see beyond the wear and tear of years on iron, because it's not even steel, just the amount of like rust and whatnot that has come over the door, the amount of like a bit of corrosion that's happened down at the base of it for, you imagine, water kind of like running into this area. You can also see that there's clearly been others that have tried to open it in the past. There's smashes where you see like dents of hammer. Maybe even at one point in time somebody had a what's the thing called? A battering ram to try to get in, because you see like big like semicircle dents, what must have been a much larger circumference circle. Like almost like the cresting of it on the side, and you can see a considerable amount of damage was done to where the stone on the side, like the actual framing, has some cracks in it. Maybe the cracks are put in by the damage, maybe half of the years since the damage, or a combination. But there is a bit of crumbling to the framing around this door. Nonetheless, if any of you were to just pick up a hammer and start smashing at it, you don't think that that alone would be able to knock this door in. It is sturdy. Maybe even Mortifer himself. Oh wait, he doesn't exist. Maybe even large men with big magical hammers would have a hard time. But who knows?
I would start prestidigitationing just to try and clean it up so we can get a good look at like how it works and any details on it. If any writing or anything.
It's not like there's any moss or anything that grows on a rusted door, but you do clear away the dust and in flakes of the rust that does sit there. It doesn't clear off all of the rust, but definitely the looser stuff, the more superficial layers there, and it allows you to see the more confined areas. Certainly clears out the dust and loose rocks of the framing itself. Why don't you all, now that you've cleared that off, I'll give you a +1. Why don't you make me perception checks to investigate this door? Jake, just for you, if you use Sift.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
Yeah, Sift would allow you Val.
There it is. It was only a matter of time.
Okay, so what we can do for you, Rayrin, unfortunately, you don't discover anything beyond what I just said. Valorant, same here. As a matter of fact, you actually got a little bit of dust in your eye from when you use the prestidigitation.
Rust right in there. Oh god.
Yeah,
it's honestly, you just freaked out because you think it might be rust. You hope it's dust. So you just like, and you kind of like step to the side and not really helping out. Them kind of like doing what they do. Unfortunately, you didn't seeing through metal, even with this magic. It's just kind of like walking up to it. You look at the rims and everything. Then you like close your eyes and take a moment to say a quick little prayer or whatever to your Lord, and you place your hands, just gently place your fingers on the actual, like maybe where the window is, and you kind of like pulse outwards, just like with your senses, and you kind of feel the door itself. On the inside of the door, you can feel the parameters as though you'd beat a DC 10 perception, right? You can feel the.
Should I roll perception?
No, you did, didn't you? That 15.
No.
Oh, that was your old one. Roll it.
Oh,
worse.
that was so close.
So with the +1, of course, as we had said beforehand, so DC 12 minus 5 is 7.
Yeah.
You can see like the beginnings of the tunnel that goes on the other side. The amount of weathering that happens to the inside of the tunnel, clearly far less than what's on the outside, but still exists. You can see that the ground immediately inside the tunnel actually probably is just as the outside has taken the most damage as water has run through it more and more, as a little bit of erosion happened that allowed more water to run, and that kind of like exacerbated as time goes. You can see on the inside, this is a door that's actually double locked. It actually has a because of like the way that they would design things, the mull back then. It has almost like you would imagine a modern day submarine where there's a wheel that you would spin and it would lock on both sides to really make sure it's secured. But so it's secured both on the hinge side and the outer side. Though of course not above or below or anything like that. You do not feel any magics with this low of a check. You certainly don't feel any magics or anything like that might be there offering any additional protections. But most importantly, you also don't see any very visible runes that would be on the inside and suggesting that magic's there. So, that is unfortunately what you guys get.
Yeah, I mean, I got a 1, but I was going to say, is there any like hole that looks like a keyhole or anything like that?
Oh, my apologies. So to answer for a keyhole, you do not believe there is any means of unlocking the door from this side, maybe without magical aid, which is probably why they have that swing door. For
The second I see that sort of, that there's no...
Oh, I'm so sorry. Just to answer one more thing to you, Jake. Sorry, Tesh. That swing door that's there, it has a simple, like kind of like a lupin eye latch that holds that swing door there. You think if somebody were able to get the right amount of force in that tiny little area, in the right spot, maybe you can knock open the swing door, but you wouldn't be able. That's the, you know. I'm sorry, Tesh. Back to you.
No, it's okay. When I wish I took Mage Hand. Yeah. So when I see that there's no visible lock on the outside, his first thought is, or maybe it's magical, so he would do a detect magic.
Okay.
I'm actually going to pop it because I keep forgetting that I have to pop it in case it fails.
Yeah. So, detect magic. So you actually are trying to detect the presence of magic, and just kind of like looking in this area, so on and so forth. You do detect more magic than you did last time you were traveling with your party, but you do not detect any magics on the door. You do notice there are a very, very similar, almost identical glow of magic, but multiple items. You just don't know how many and how powerful each individual one is of magic glowing from Jake's bag. But other than that, nothing new from inside of the store.
He wouldn't like press it, but he would give a little, like as he was looking, he'd just do a little. Okay, then back to doing the door, and then just it's not magical.
So, go ahead.
So there's a big iron door.
Mm-hmm.
And did you say there's a swing door or something?
So, like I said, like almost like you see it in movies all the time, like the nightclub, they have like the sliding open. Who's there? Instead, it's like a little barred area. So it's like a triangular cutout window with a little barred area, but that door swings open and shut as opposed to like a slide open. Yeah. And the latch for that is literally just kind of like a latch. Nothing crazy or complex. Just made out of iron. Everything's made out of old iron.
Okay, well, say I could try and bash that in. Don't know if that'll help us or
not. The door looks pretty well reinforced. Do you mean this part and sort of points to the...
I point. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Just back away.
I say it'll probably be loud.
Perhaps it's worth trying something a bit quieter first.
Sure.
If you give me a little bit of room, we'll just see whether we can't. And now you said it's held by a single point, yes?
This part, and I point to the little thing.
Oh, right, this part on the inside.
Yeah.
He pushes his hand against the the swing door, and he does his best. He pushes his fingertips as far into the space as he can. I'm presuming it's not flush. I'm not thinking he could get a finger through, but the skin of his fingertips will push.
Okay, so my apologies. The little barred area, the little barred window area, you're getting your fingertips between those bars, which you can easily get your fingertips in. It's big enough you can get fingers in, but not like a wrist through.
Yeah,
and you can touch the back side, but you're specifically going not for the hinge side, but the latch side of the little door inside there.
Latch side, yeah.
Okay, and you're able to kind of like wedge your fingers. It takes you a moment to get like the right angle, but no big deal. The iron here is rusty, but not sharp enough that you're afraid of getting cut. And you can.
Can I feel the latch?
Oh, no, because the latch is on the outside, right?
Yeah. The latch is on the inside.
The inside of the door, the outside where you have your hand,
Yeah. And then he's gonna... How tall is this? Because he needs to peek through. He needs to try and see where he's aiming.
So you can't, unfortunately, see through the door at all and into the hallway at all, but the whole door is about 7.5 feet tall, so your character is definitely tall enough to see through the eye area. Hobgoblins in general stand at about just shy of 6 feet. They're taller than goblins by every stretch, but not as tall as, say, Perrin are.
I think we're all taller than that.
So I can see through the barred area.
Correct.
My latch is like here.
The latch for the little swing
For
door.
the swing door.
Yeah. Is going to be on the inside of that. Yep, you just can't see the latch.
Okay.
Yep.
Can Rarin attempt to splash acid onto the iron latch?
Talking about corrosive grasp, or whatever it's called.
Acid splash.
Oh, acid splash. Is that a 0 level spell?
It's ranged. It's
Okay,
ranged.
gotcha.
0 level. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, yep, you can certainly do that.
We'll attempt anyway.
Attack roll is a 6. So you do splash acid in there. Unfortunately, it's just kind of like
everywhere.
It's not designed to be like a refined, finite spell. So it just kind of splashes everywhere, and there's a little bit of corrosion. I mean, the acid more eats away at the rust and like kind of presents the clean iron underneath it than it does actually harm the metal itself. But maybe the right way, the right spot, maybe you can get it. It's just you're gonna have to be a more finite with your aim.
Huh. So you can do magic too, then?
What? No, I was just trying to unlatch it.
Looks at all of like the burning.
It must have been a rat in there that made the noise.
Right.
Because I just fired that globule on the inside, right?
I mean, to the best of your inside the little window, but you all can see it.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
no.
Yeah. That was
It didn't go through the
It didn't
gap.
go through the gap. No, it didn't go through that space. It's
So
too
that
tight.
little like area
So
is
even
just.
though,
You have to roll a higher
even though
DC.
even though my fingers are through the gap.
Your fingers aren't through the gap. Your fingers are through the bars. And it's still a
this way,
closed
there's-
door.
There's
Oh,
bars
okay. So there's
and then a
bars,
door.
and then
But yeah, you're still trying to squirt through almost like the.
yeah.
Okay, I got you.
I get you. Now.
Higher DC.
Cool.
Like I said, you need more finite use of acid than just spidey web.
Yes. Well,
But good idea, though.
I am from Amulta.
I suppose that makes sense. I surprised I
Well-
didn't connect the two.
I could keep trying with that. It might work, or we could try and just knock it down. What would you rather do?
Give it another shot.
Let's
Can't
try.
And then, worst case, he knocks that open, hopefully, and then you can try and get the actual mechanism. If that's open, you might have a better shot.
Perhaps. Yeah, I just need to melt my way through a teeny corner, just so I can get a finger through the point in that mechanism, wherever it might be. Let's try again anyway.
Well, luckily, because of the sift, we know whereabouts it is. Oh my god.
So
8 out of 8 attack rolls.
He gave us too much of the luck back.
So once again, you splash inside the area. This time you have to like pull your hand back really quickly because you almost splashed it on yourself. It's one of those things where you just go like, okay, yep. You didn't stew anything. You're more eating away at the acid and once again presenting the clean iron underneath it than doing anything else. You would need again a much more fine application of acid than something so simple as
I wonder if before you go for the smash, this is also actually I'm going to ask this out of a question. This is me at 3 a.m. asking a question. If I make it cold, it's a little more brittle, right?
It is iron, not steel, so it is more susceptible to things like that. Yes.
Okay. Okay, but before you do the big smash, I would suggest that I could probably cool it down a bit. Maybe even freeze a section of it. Might make it easier to break.
So.
And I would sit there and just do a ray of frost a couple times right on where he said the latch was.
Okay.
Sort of really cool that area down, freeze it.
What is our attempt to try to break open this little door? What are we using to actually do the smash?
Probably my battle axe. Probably going up to it because it's only a small area and using the haft of the weapon and just hitting it.
Gotcha. So because it's you're not doing a full on kind of a swing or whatever, which give you the full benefit of your strength. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have you take a -2 penalty to your strength check to try to do this break DC.
Okay, so am I rolling strength or am I rolling
a break DC is a strength check. Yeah, it's a strength check.
Okay. All right.
Does anybody in the party have guidance?
Oh, that
+1.
was really...
Ding. So unfortunately, with an 8, you hear a loud bang, but unfortunately, you kind of clipped the bar on the way over, and so you hit it, but not with that much force. It's really hard to wedge it with a lot of force through such a finite area, because it's still a hit.
I have an idea.
An axe, please.
Walk over and he's going to wedge his dagger sticking into that corner, sticking out, and so aim for this. That way you can do the full swing at it.
Flat end to the back side of the head of the axe, and then do your full swing. So now that you have a very pivoted point, and it is steel, even though it's not meant to be a wedge like this, it is still steel. I will allow you to get a +1 to strength check instead.
I will also cast guidance on myself.
Oh, you have guidance. Oh, Father, blessings of the Father.
I imagine it's almost swearing that he failed it. That's his guidance.
And so +1. There you go.
Figure out how that. All right, so strength again.
Correct, and it's a total of a +2. Yep. 1 competence, 1 circumstance.
Oh no!
That's it. Our rolling luck has gone.
So you try a second thwack, bang, and it's immediately you can be like, this knife is going to need some sharpening. Another hit like that will probably break the knife, but honestly, it's a dagger. It's at the end of the world. You guys have more, but another hit like that's probably going to break the dagger. You're welcome to try again. There's no reason that.
Yeah, I get frustrated and I just swing as hard as I can.
It's a good thing I don't care about the dagger.
before I do, I sort of compose myself a minute, cast guidance again.
Yep.
and
you
go
will
again.
this.
Bring those 20s!
You've weakened it this time. You've definitely.
The problem is, this time you swung and you clipped the dagger, just barely hit it at a weird angle. The blade literally snaps off, dropping the dagger with half of its blade broken off down onto the ground. The other half still kind of wedged into that spot. Unfortunately,
you dagger there.
you don't do any additional aid in this situation. Oh God.
Well then, at least I'm just gonna say, at least you can roll a natty 1 and cause it to bounce off and stab someone.
So for Tesh and Jake, in moments like this, party fumbles would cause things like that to happen, but also those moments of luck would just cause you to a brilliant moment of something just happens to, and that's where Twitch chat can be glorious or ghoulish.
Okay, well.
Doesn't appear to be working.
No, it does not. Oh man, that's so funny. Oh my god, those were 8s. Thank you, Steve. Those were 2 more 8s because you had +2s on those. And the strength before was a -2. That was also an 8. Holy crap. Jesus, Chink. Oh, that's funny.
I wonder whether the vial of acid you found would have more potency than my acid. Can I just send a globule onto the stone? There must be some stone nearby, right?
Yeah.
Just send a globule onto that and see whether it has the same reaction as that previous acid. Because that previous acid in the bowl literally ate away stone.
So you just kind of like throw a splash at it?
Yeah.
So you throw a splash at it, and you can see there's like, unlike before where it was like a delayed reaction, it's immediate. Immediately you see smoking, bubbling, sizzling, so on and so forth, because that's how the spell works. But as soon as it kind of like burns away, the stone is left more or less untouched. Whatever was on the surface of the stone was what took the brunt force of the damage.
And that bottle of acid, though, did have more effect on the previous stone.
It ate into the stone.
Perhaps the acid you have in that vial is stronger than what I can generate. Perhaps...
You see that I'm clearly frustrated, and I just start going through my bag, and I hand you the acid.
Right.
Do it.
Neil, this is going to be a sleight of hand check to use just raw precision on this. I imagine your character is the best for it. I think you're the Dex character here.
Sleight of hand. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you don't get any benefits, do you, if it's not like a class skill or whatnot?
No, you don't have
get stuff from knowledge. Like, for example, I have like +2, I think.
What are you talking about?
It's got a little person next to it.
Oh, that person gives you a penalty, I believe. Let me see your character sheet. Let's look at what you're wearing for armor.
It must be the studded leather.
Studded leather has a max ACP. It has a -1 check penalty for wearing ACP. So the idea is like if you go to start and you kind of like realize that your armor's giving you a penalty, like you can actually be like, hold on one second, kind of like remove the jacket of your padded leather armor. It's like just unclip it, take it off. Just takes like a minute, and then that way it's not like you kind of not as restricted, you know.
Yep. Let's take it all off.
There you go. He gets naked.
As you approach to do the acid too, I'll put my hand on your shoulder and I say, "You get it this time," and I cast guidance.
Okay, we are getting this damn fucking door.
Right.
Party defeated by door.
It's still not gone. The little man's still there.
Are you wearing the armor still?
No, I deleted it.
You straight deleted it? Oh, I think
it's very easy to add. I was like,
yeah. I think that's Did that affect your AC at all when you deleted it? I think it did. Yeah, because your AC is down to a 13. Why is? What's your encumbrance?
Oh.
Not enough.
I'm on medium load.
Yeah. So you have to be able to drop your studded leather to 0 on your gear chart for weight.
There you go.
It's heavy.
Oh, you deleted it too? Oh, that's right. That's probably easier because you just drop it back in. There you go.
Right, there we go.
And then whenever you roll, we're going to add 1 for guidance. All right, Neil, it's time for you to use the suck of luck to make this happen.
We'll try.
Natty 20, Neil! Do not disappoint.
It's all gone.
What is with the 8s? Oh!
We've had all that good rolling.
Oh, geez. So it's a 9 total, but again, Natty 8. So you roll, and oh god, so you roll and you pour it in there. Now, there's no question in your mind. This acid is significantly more virulent than the one you did beforehand. It immediately starts eating away at that area and just devouring through the rust and the iron and kind of like pouring into it. And it actually ends up opening like, so if you imagine the little door, the little spot that's like the corner that you're in the back there, maybe even a little above it, getting close to the latch, you end up pouring it there and it does eat away at the inner lining, opening up a like hair-thin, feather-thin gap along pretty much the entire door's length, going down. So you can't see into it by any stretch, but certainly something very thin might be able to get through. But then it pulls up at the bottom and eats away at that like bottom corner, and then starts like pouring into the door and eating down on the door on the inside. So it's so thick that if you can get your arm in there well enough, you can get like a pinky once the acid's virulence, you can get like a pinky if you happen to have particularly slender hands, maybe even like an index finger through the hole that it opens up the bottom that it kind of goops through. But again, very thin along the outer edge of the door would be able to pass. Yeah, you weren't able to pour it in a way that was super effective, but still works just because of the raw virulence of it.
And now I have access to see the latch at a distance. It's a much smaller, thinner piece of metal.
You can't see it, but I mean, again, you know where it is because Jake can literally, what's his name? One can literally be like, walk up to the door and point at the inner part and be like, it's right here, just on the inside.
I don't think credit cards are a thing. Nope.
like a credit card sort of thing. Actually, yeah, they aren't a thing. But that idea could theoretically work now to a nimble enough person.
Well, it didn't go exactly as planned.
I love how much time is being spent at a door.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's this door.
Right. Okay.
I'm genuinely enjoying it, by the way.
Presumably, how far is this distance to this latch?
About this far. About I don't know how many centimeters that is for you. Like 5 centimeters. I'm just making up a number.
Raren reaches into a bundle of cloth, throws off the top, pulls out a crossbow bolt, and gently pokes it into the hole and starts nudging up till he hears something of it tapping this iron.
Crossbow bolt is perhaps a bit too thick. You need something a bit thinner.
I'm gonna pull out the dart.
Oh, there you go.
The dart that I bought for 5 silver, but just because I wanted to buy something to be kind, I'm gonna pull out the dart and go, try this and hand it over. So it's just a war dart.
And that is far thinner than that of a crossbow bolt. And so you go in there and you start being able to make your jury rig. Roll me, is Disable Devices skill, I believe, in Pathfinder? I'm mixing my additions.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, perfect, thank you.
Disabled device? Where is it?
Probably under D. Go 1 second. Disable Devices, right? Why don't I see it under your skill list?
Diplomacy and then right below.
Diplomacy disguise. What happened to your disabled device?
I have it on my sheet.
I have it. It's got a little asterisk on it.
I think you accidentally got rid of it, Deal. Go over to configuration.
Yeah,
devices
because I
unclicked. Huh. There you go.
I blame you, Scott.
It's back now. That was weird.
Right, okay. Let me drop the weight of that again. Alright, well, let's try.
So you get it in there and you feel it. It's clicking. It's clicking. You're like, I got it. Boys, don't worry. I got it. And then you hear snap. And your heart sinks as you pull the dart out. And you actually, maybe it was just a poorly crafted dart. Maybe, who knows, but the actual tip of the dart broke off and fell to the ground inside the door, leaving you adjusting. Broken dart in your hands. Oh, the day that Neil's luck fades. Yes, we corroded away his luck. I don't think you understand the significance of this, Jake, but this is a moment in time. I wish Arvine was here. Ian, if you watch this, know that this is for you, buddy. I dedicate this session to you.
As soon as he's sort of moving back from the door, I'm just going to do this. Come on, please.
What are you doing?
Hey!
Okay.
Throwing a snowball straight at it.
Okay, so you just...
Almost out of frustration.
Yep.
Just, oh!
Throw a snowball at it.
And that's 4 damage because of the +1.
Correct. So you throw 4 points of damage at the door and follow up with what?
I mean, just... I don't have my dagger anymore.
There's other daggers. There's other daggers.
I pull out my dagger.
Okay.
And then
wedge it. And then you're going to do it one last time?
Yeah. Can I get a run up?
Yeah, you want to try to like run and swing at it? I'll do this. You have to make an attack roll to hit it with DC 10. It's nothing crazy, just a 10 AC. If you hit it, you get a +2 for charging, just like any other break DC. That's legit the rules.
Hey.
So attack roll first.
Yeah.
If you guidance goes on the first roll, so it's actually on this roll. Oh, Jesus, you critical hit! That's amazing! Oh my God, that's amazing! I'll actually turn that.
Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, I'll actually make that. Yeah, Happy Gilmore, guys. That +2 becomes a +5 instead. And then, of course, guidance again would have already been expended as part of the critical hit, so that wouldn't be here. So your +2 is a +5. So with the +1 for the dagger, it's a +6 total. Roll your check, dude. Oh, DC 25! And it's as though just burning away the acid just enough, just getting rid of enough friction there, breaking off the rust that was holding the door together. It's almost like melded together with the rust. You come running up and you're like, and then you smash the thing. You know what I mean? You had like, somebody like holding the dagger, like, and smash with your hands. And honestly,
that was Jaden holding the dagger.
NPCs and the throwaway. So anyways, you hit it with so much force. Not only does the door come swinging wide open, you actually smash the dagger and wedge it into the bars themselves. So it's like you can't even just easily wedge it out. You know what I mean? Another hit. But you actually smash it open. So the little door swings wide open, giving you this small area where you can actually see into darkness on the other side, where the hole would be on the other side.
The door isn't even fucking open.
Finally, activate the nursery. The door.
I should be able to see in darkness.
Yeah, you can see into the darkness to the other side, and you can actually see the hallway before you. You can actually see everything. As I had said before, the whole area that's over there has pretty heavy corrosion kind of down by your feet as well, as water ran in, and that stretches through to the door on the other side, but gets lesser and lesser and lesser as it goes, as like the amount of water that could have collected over the years and ran through rainstorms went over the years would have, done more, but can't go all the way in. The whole inside of the area, you can see where sconces and whatnot are set along the walls, but there's not even the remnants of torches left inside them, long ago having rotted away. But overall, the only other thing of significance that you see inside there is lots of cobwebs. Not spider webs that suggest something massive or whatever waiting for you, but
I saw Neil worry.
the suggestion that nobody's passed through here in a very, very long time. And so you're able to see that, and you have the latched, locked, sealed door between you and the other side, and perhaps a moment of victory seized by the realization that you're still far from in. And unfortunately here, and now,
fucking door,
is where we're going to have to end the session for this week. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. That's funny. That is really funny.
This door has taken 1 hour from us.
Oh my God, this is so funny. Oh, vey. That's so funny. Okay.
James is sitting back like, what the fuck are these guys doing?
Yeah, fuck this door, man.
So why don't we? Oh man, oh my God. So anyways, I do want to go ahead. That was so much fun. Sorry about the technical difficulties, everybody. And I always think the first session is the most awkward one when the PCs are being forced to meet one another and so on and so forth. But
I think we handled it very well.
I do want to say that people that had signed up over on Patreon over on the first month before the campaign actually started, anything that was gifted over from them for my patrons over there, and there were videos released to them and whatnot of when I rolled for it. That's actually where the items that you had found in that cave all came from. Sans, of course, those bracers. I was hoping to organically have you find out in game, but I'll actually tell you out of game what those bracers do, because Jake, 2 weeks ago when we recorded your opening session, that was actually it was actually your birthday that day that we were recording. You told me after we were done recording, otherwise I would have done it beforehand, like I'm going to be doing for Wade tonight. So happy birthday to you in real life. In game, those bracers are Distanta, +1 AC, but also they're specifically bracers that are designed for Inquisitors using the Protection Judgment. It actually treats your level as 3 higher for the sake of the benefit given to you from the Protection Judgment. And the bonus that you get to your AC, you also gain that same bonus against CMD and checks to cast defensively. I'll send you those details via text, so you don't have to worry about what was that again.
Yeah.
But more or less, it's really good for an Inquisitor using that judgments to have on them, and it's limitless. It doesn't have like a specific amount of times that it can be done.
Looking forward to our birthdays now.
Yeah.
I mean, mine's actually next week, so.
Hey, there you go. So Neil, when's yours? IRL.
July.
Okay, so your characters will be a little bit higher level, so you might get a little bit better gift and whatnot. But anyways, so that was for you, and then obviously other stuff as well. So thank you to the patrons for what it was you had given to the party at this point. I'm glad we ran into this fun little wall. That was pretty funny. Oh, that's awesome. All right, so just kind of because two of you don't stream at all, so I'm going to say Tesh, who are you? How can we find you?
Hi, I am Tesh of the Test Tube. You can find me under that name on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. I stream most nights, Australian nights, at around 8 p.m. Australian Central Standard Time. You can punch that into Google. And if I don't stream the night, I'm usually streaming during the day. I'm also here on the Thursday morning, Wednesday nights for me. And you can also find me on twitch.tv/AllYourRants channel on my Monday mornings, Sunday night for Americans, doing another D&D campaign there as well.
I literally downloaded this app. I don't know how much the camera will allow you to see because it's very white.
It's just bright white.
Just white.
Let's try this. Maybe that's a little bit easier to see because it has the time zones from Maggle Rock over to Jake, so I can keep track of who's when and so on and so forth. Because sometimes it's like, okay, do I expect a response or no? Anyways, and as you were saying, channel twitch.tv/AllYourRants, he's going to be going live in approximately an hour's time with Neely Boy going over there. I am hoping that our campaign here ruins his luck so horribly that his character actually finally takes 1 hit point of damage when they're on like season 6.
I think you'll find Vale's already almost died twice.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Nobody has ever once been nervous that Vale was going to die. Everybody's like, oh, look at this. He is literally being bent over, unconscious, underneath the guillotine, the string being pulled, and all of their friends are incarcerated in Avernus, forever away. Nobody could help him in this kingdom where he slept with the king's many daughters and wife at the same exact time and pissed everybody off.
Pointy.
He rolls a natty 20 to teleport out. Like, but you don't know magic!
I think you'll find that I've used all my bad luck now. I hope. I don't know how Ian survives this bad luck shit.
Welcome to our life.
It's horrible. It's honestly, you know what? Doxy actually has worse luck than Ian. It's disgusting. They both have such terrible bad luck.
Oh well. Anyways, so of course the ways that you can impact and support the show are over on patreon.com/Daelric. Other than that, the VODs will be over on YouTube in case you miss it or whatever the details. And hopefully the technical difficulties are more funny there. All right, we'll see everybody next week. Thank you so much for hanging out and goodbye.
See ya, everyone.